Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have Kim Ivers with us. And Kim is the Assistant Library Director, and she's in Children's Services over at the Southborough Public Library. And where did I hear about Kim? Over in the Community Advocate.
Correct.
And it was about the game of their town. She's going to tell you all about it. It looks like a Monopoly game, but it's all about Southborough. And she's going to talk to us about it, and it's really kind of fascinating. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Tell us all about it. When this began and how it began and who started it. Show us up all about it.
Okay. Would you like me to show you the board first?
Sure, yeah, give us an idea. It looks like Monopoly.
It does look like Monopoly.
I love this.
It's called the Game of Southborough.
Can you see it? Can you see it okay? Okay.
And so these were all local businesses around the side, which I'm imagining sponsored the game.
1980.
Sometime during the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact date. It was done as a fundraiser for the schools, organized by the Southborough Organization of Schools at that time. And so a lot of these businesses, some are still in existence, some are no longer in existence. It was kind of fun when we came across this at the Southborough Library a couple months ago, because to see what businesses there were and to remember some of them.
And it actually had pieces to play the game.
It does have pieces. I have them here. So it has just the money. It has the little pieces that you can move around, such
just
as
like
this.
The real deal.
It's got the money.
Yeah.
And then it does have cards that go with it. So
what are the cards?
The cards are for each...
like get out of jail free?
Well, we do have the get out of jail free type of cards as well.
Jail in it?
But these ones are the cards that if you wanted to buy a property, the amount that you would pay for it, and then if somebody lands on it, they'd have to pay you that much money, and that
just
type of
like
thing.
the real deal.
Just like the real deal. Yeah, yeah.
Who thought of this game back then?
I honestly don't know. We had it in our house growing up, since I grew up in Southborough, and my mother was very involved in the schools when I was in school and my brother was in school, and so we had this game in our house, and quite honestly, I don't remember if we played it. We had a whole closet of games, and I know we had it. My family name is actually on it as one of the sponsors. It's the Keese family, and so we were actually on it as one of the sponsors down here, but I had, in all honesty, completely forgotten about it until somebody donated it to the library.
So somebody had been keeping it.
So I did actually talk to the person who donated this to the library.
Did they just call and say, hey, we've got it here?
Well, she apparently made a bunch of donations a number of months ago, and this was part of the donation. So then when the game was put on our social media, and then the Community Advocate saw it and picked it up, she came in and said, I was the person who donated this game.
Yeah.
And so she actually came in last week and talked to me about it. Yeah. Her name is Pat Paganella, and she grew up in the Fayetteville section of Southborough.
In the what section?
Fayetteville section.
Okay,
yes. Yeah. And so she grew up there, and she had this at her house. It was given to her by her sister when her sister was cleaning out her house. And so she was going through things at her house, and she decided to give it to the library as for part of the historical collection that we have. So because she had grown up in Southborough, she went through a lot of the different businesses with me and told me some stories about some of the different places. So, like, for example, one of them was Maley Studio, which is a photographer's.
Are they still there?
They are no longer there.
Okay.
And so she said that her wedding was the first wedding that Maley Studios photographed.
Do you know what year it was in?
I don't. She said she's married 69 years.
Aww.
So, and then she told me some stories about the Southborough Drug right here, which used to be right on the corner of Route 30 as you were heading into Framingham.
An independent drugstore.
For an independent drugstore,
longer
and
there.
I do remember going there.
Not there right now.
Not
though.
there anymore, but I do remember going there as a kid when we needed to fill prescriptions. There was the one druggist in the back, but when she was there, she said it was a different druggist who had started it, and they had a soda fountain and ice cream and everything. So she would go with her friends after school to have ice cream there.
Yeah. We are talking with Kim Ivers, and Kim, over at the Southborough Public Library, is the Assistant Library Director and Children's Services. You've been there for 30 years.
I've been there 30 years full
Look at
time.
this. This is it was in 1980, and it was based on the Monopoly game, Southborough Town Monopoly game. And you can see it displayed over at the Southborough Public Library. Can someone take it out of the display case and play it?
Not well. We haven't really discussed that yet.
Kind of
so
fun.
It could be kind of fun. Maybe we would have to do something.
What a way
have
for
an
the kids
event.
to learn the history of their town.
So yeah, it is fun to look and say, oh, I remember this type of business. So, most of the ones here I do remember growing up in Southborough, but there's some that
What do you remember?
I don't remember. So there's some that are still in existence. Like over here, Falcone Brothers Heating and Oil, still there. And Fitzgerald's General Store is still near the train station in Southborough. Ted's Towing is still in existence, but it's relocated to Route 9 from where it used
What
to
does
be.
that say? Staff? Down in the green big corner.
Oh, Start.
Start?
Yes, this is the Start.
Oh, okay.
This is
Go
the Start.
Right.
This is
Where's the jail?
H.W. Bars and Company, who I don't remember actually at all.
There's no jail, like a prison get
There's
out?
no jail, but they do have wheeler dealer cards, which are these.
Prison? a police.
No jail,
A police station.
but these are still attached. So this particular game was never played. These are still all attached.
Yeah.
But these are some wheeler dealer cards, which I believe would probably be similar to the chance or the get out of jail cards, in the Monopoly game. So this is a taxi service, collect $8,000 from bank and move to any space you choose, is one of them. There's a bunch of taxi service ones here. There's, let's see, a bamboozle card. You must immediately use, sell, or discard this card. Move any player card. There's a pay off debt card. So I think these are similar to the other type of cards you would have found.
It comes with the dice, all the player things. It's got the money, and you have to buy. You can buy property, no doubt.
You can buy property.
Who designed this?
So this is called a company called Michael Glynn Productions. It looked like this was something that they did for fundraiser type of things.
A fundraiser back in 1980 for the schools?
For the schools.
For the schools.
Yeah.
And did they do well?
I really don't even remember. I don't know, because I did talk to my parents since they were involved in it at the time, and they really had very little recollection of it. It's hard to find information on that at this point, this many years later, 40 years later, how it did, and even the people who were at the schools at the time aren't there anymore.
How about the Historical Society?
We would have to get in touch with them, I think.
Yeah.
At some point, and get in touch with them.
Hold it up again. This is fantastic.
I don't know how it did, but
and somebody designed. It was a company that designed
it's a company. It was called Michael Glynn Productions. It looked like they did these games called Wheeler Dealer games.
Wheeler Dealer games. And you said, and I agree, that they did it for other towns too.
They did it for other towns.
Upton, we could use this as what a history, what a game for our town historically. What way to the kids a fun way to the kids to learn, and some of our old people who have lived here all their life. What a way to play this, to think, oh, I remember when we had a pharmacy right downtown. I mean, I can think of stuff. I think that is so amazing. I love the colors. And the way it's set up, just like a Monopoly game. Is there a limit to how many players?
There's 6 pieces.
Okay.
6 player pieces.
6.
Yeah.
Did you ever play it?
I don't remember. I had this conversation with my parents a couple weeks ago when I knew I was going to be doing this, and
did they play it?
We don't remember if we played it. We knew we had it. We knew we had a lot of games. We played a lot of games when I was growing up. We played a lot of board games, so we very well probably did play it, but I don't have a recollection of it. So,
Kim, if other towns in this area would like to do this type of thing, would they call you and ask you at the library how to get a hold of the company that did this?
I just looked them up online.
You would look them up online?
I just looked them up online.
What do they call you?
Michael Glynn Productions.
Michael Glynn?
Glynn. Glynn.
Glynn. Michael Glynn Productions.
And I honestly couldn't find out if they still do this or not, What
a great idea.
If they very well might, I don't know. If this is something they still do, so.
What a great idea. We have so much history in Massachusetts. And,
we do.
We're on YouTube. We're all over, once you're on YouTube, you're all in the world. But here in New England, especially, there's a whole lot of history. Rhode Island, we got Connecticut, everybody nearby, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Once you guys see this, you could have this done for your town, too. Now, where is it exhibited in the library?
So the upper level of our library has a historic front room.
The upper level?
The upper level. So the library itself was built in 1911.
Wow.
The library itself was founded in 1852, but it was in the back of the town hall. So our building was built in 1911.
Yeah.
In 1989, we had an addition put on, so that added on an extra, a large addition to the back where we have a children's section downstairs, an adult section upstairs, but the front room remains as the historic front room. So it is in a display case in that front room, along with a milk bottle from Deerfoot Farms, which was there, and several other things. The display case may change from time to time as to what it displays, but currently that's where it is displayed.
I would think that the Historical Society would love to have a copy of that.
They may, if anybody else in town has one too that they want to.
Yeah, I would think even the school, maybe the high school would want that because it was a contributed, it was a fundraiser for the high school, for the schools.
It was for the schools, yeah. Our high school is a regional school. So it's a Northborough, Southborough regional school. The elementary schools are in Southborough.
How did you get interested in that? What drew you to it?
To
this game?
Well, to the game itself, as I said, it was donated, and then we found it while going through donations. We do have a staff member who is fairly new to the library, but she is doing a lot of our historical work. So she kind of found it and was really excited about it, and so she brought it to show the rest of us, including me. She's not from Southborough, so she wasn't as familiar with the businesses. And I said, "Oh my goodness, I remember this and I remember that and the other business and all that." So that's how I guess I got reconnected with it, but.
You are a fun person. I mean, to take such an interest in this, there's got to be a kid in you, too. And
I work with kids every day.
Now, we're going to talk about this now. One more time. Kim, again, how can they get in touch with you if they ask you some more questions about this?
Probably through my email is the best way. It's KIVERS at Southborough, SOUTHBOROUGHMA.com.
And don't be shy. Go on over to just go down. If you're heading down from Upton or whatever, just go down Route 30. Go through Westborough, down to Northborough.
Westborough brings you into Southborough.
Yeah, right into Southborough.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be looking at Route 85. So the library's right there.
Right in
there
the corner of 85 and Southborough and 30.
Beautiful. You walk in and you're on the downstairs level.
Yeah.
The children's room is down there.
The children's room is downstairs.
Okay. And then you go up the stairs. Is there an elevator?
There is an elevator.
Okay. Upstairs is cool. Oh my God, they have tons of books. Really cool stuff. Even the computers, right?
Computers. Mm-hmm.
And then the second floor is the historical.
There is a historical collection on the second floor, sort of in the back, but the historical front room is on the second floor as well.
And that's where you're going to see this. You're going to see the Monopoly, Southborough Monopoly game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Now let's talk about you. Kim.
Yes.
Kim, when did you get interested in library science? What did you go to college to learn it?
I did. I went to undergrad to get my degree in early childhood education, and then I went to Simmons for library and information science.
Where was the first college you went to?
So I started at Wheelock College in Boston, and then I ended up at Framingham State.
Is Wheelock still an all-girls school?
No.
I think I had a classmate in high school who went to Wheelock.
Okay, no, it's not all girls. It was
I think it was
very small percentage of boys at that point. It has now been taken as part of Boston University now.
Was it Wheelock, though, back in the 70s?
I think it probably was, but no, it does have a small percentage, or
Okay.
did at the time.
Very good reputation.
Yes.
And then so from there you went to Framingham?
Framingham State. Mm-hmm.
Good school.
Yes,
I
excellent
know.
school.
I know when I drive down. I don't do it often, but I hate highways. But when you go down Route 9 and you can look up and see one of the dorms.
Yes, you can. Yep.
Yeah, you can see that. I went to Plymouth State University
Okay.
in the White Mountains. So you went to Framingham State, and then you got which degree over there?
Bachelor of Early Childhood Education.
Early childhood. So you got that.
Yeah.
And you got your library degree at Wheelock.
No, Simmons College in Boston.
At Simmons. So you went to 3 places.
Yes. Yeah.
You were a determined girl. Holy gosh. What'd your parents think of that?
Well, they always support me. My father actually was a professor for 30 years at Framingham State.
He was a professor. What did he teach?
Psychology.
How about siblings? Are you the only, or
I am the oldest. I have one brother, 4 years younger.
did he go into this type of thing?
No, he's in computers.
There you go.
So,
This is what my father used to say. I have 2 such different children, and boy, is that true.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very different. But
Kind of a blessing. No 2 kids are alike.
Yeah.
Right? So after you left, what was your first job?
So,
Oh.
I started working at the library, the Southborough Library, when I was 9.
Which library?
Southborough.
Okay.
So my parents bought their house in Southborough just a few months before I was born. So I grew up in Southborough. My parents still live in that house. I no longer live in Southborough, but I haven't for many years. But I still have obviously a lot of connections to the town. And so when I was just a toddler, my mother started taking me to the library every week. And it was a much smaller library at that point. It was a small staff. It was a smaller town. And so we would check out piles of books, And when I was about 9, the children's librarian, Jay Curtin, asked if I would want to help out. So I said, sure. So I was
9 years old?
At 9 years old, which we're not allowed to do anymore. But at that point, it was okay. So I was 9 years old. I was sitting behind the checkout desk in the children's room, and I would check people's books in and out. We had everybody's names handwritten on cards.
Yeah.
There were no computers or anything like that. So we wrote people's names on cards and kept them in a file.
How did you do it,
Drawer.
like when it was due? Did you have a machine?
We had a date stamp.
Okay.
We stamped it. Eventually we moved on from that to a machine that you would put sort of a cardboard card with a metal plate in the machine, and it would stamp it, and we stamped date due cards that way as well. So I worked as a volunteer until I was about 15, and then I was in high school, and I was offered a part-time job as a library page.
At 15?
At 15. So I worked through high school and college on the weekends or
What does a page
vacations.
do? Just put books away?
Mostly put books away, although at those days as being a page, we also would help people. We'd check books in and out. We did all kinds of things at that point.
Yeah. So if a person comes in and asks for a book, you find it for them.
Yes. So now most of the job is to put books away for pages, but along with some other things. But at that point, we were kind of doing a lot of different things. So, and then when I got out of college, I started working full time.
They offered you the job full time?
Full time. Mm-hmm.
What was your title?
So at that point, I was just a library assistant.
Right there in the front desk?
And so I would do the front desk, and I started going part-time to library school. I was just taking one class a semester.
What was the class?
Well, each semester was a different class. So some of them were basics, library management, reference, cataloging. I took some specific to children's literature or children's programming because I knew I kind of wanted to go in that direction. That took about 4 years.
Wow.
Doing one class a semester.
That's a lot. You've got a lot behind you.
So, And then I got my library degree in 1999.
Yep.
And at that point, the children's librarian who had brought me in initially as a volunteer retired, and so I was able to take over her job.
Now, as a children's director, that's got to be fun. You plan different, like, storytelling and people coming in to do things?
I plan all the children's events. So I'm the assistant library director, but I'm also doing children's services from age birth to about 11 before they go into the teen section. So I do story times for infants and toddlers, preschoolers. I do book clubs for elementary school kids. We do Lego club. We do summer reading programs, school vacation week programs, read to a dog programs.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so all kinds of different
Do you
things.
ever have the cat? Read to a cat?
We don't ever read to a cat, no.
How about to a bunny? There we go.
No, we've got a couple different dogs who come in,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's good because I know it sounds a little bit future world, but you can have a guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
They're calm. Just put something under him. A bunny. There are cats who are. I have a woman who actually trains therapy cats and brings them to nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
They are trained to just sit there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, children really, and hey, I do respond to an animal.
Two animals, yeah.
They
Yeah.
really do it. And do you think kids really, the little young ones, do they think that the animal is really hearing them? Like,
Well, it's funny how many kids choose dog books to read to the dog.
they choose what?
Choose books about dogs
Yeah.
to read to the dog. Or I've had kids who have chosen a book about a cat to read to the dog and say, hope the dog doesn't mind that I'm reading about a cat.
Oh.
Things like that, so.
It's good for the parents to have a few minutes off too, and they can
Yeah.
go up to the. Well, it's okay for the parents to go up to the adult section and pick some books while the
They
kids.
could. Usually they do stick around.
They do, yeah.
The purpose of this kind of is that the child can read to the therapy dog and the dogs don't judge. So if they're learning how to read, it's good practice.
Do you ever have like people from the zoo come in, with an animal to show them?
We've had a number of different...
Southwick or something.
We haven't had Southwick, but we have had a number of different organizations that do either animal rescues or animal rehab or things like that. So we've had all kinds of animals come
Sure.
in, 15-foot long snakes and
no.
alligators
No.
and,
No, count me out.
birds and owls and all kinds of things. So,
There's only one animal I do not want to see, and that is a snake.
yes.
I
yes,
do
we've
like,
had very
I
large
like
snakes.
lizards. I know it sounds weird, but I think lizards are kind of cool.
We've had a lot of different kinds of lizards come in.
Spiders and snakes. What's that song? I don't like spiders. No. No. What I was going to say, book groups. How about book groups over there?
We do book groups. Yeah, book groups kind of for all ages.
Yes.
So we have ones for elementary school. We have middle school.
Adults
Adults as
mystery
well.
groups, or
Not specifically to mysteries. The adult book groups tend to read a lot of different genres of books.
yeah.
So
It's tough with book groups in libraries because God bless the librarian who runs it. But very often, I've tried many, and I'm sure the book is fine,
Mhm.
but many of us who try to join, it's just not our shtick. It's
okay.
boring.
Yeah.
I love mysteries and thrillers.
Okay.
And that's right. Just recently up at Grafton Library, shout out to Heidi. She did a great job. She picked a Robert Parker,
Okay.
and he's a old Boston boy,
Mhm.
mystery
Yeah.
guy. And I eat his books up. And, I don't go over to her groups very often, but boy, that one I'm like, oh, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I love that kind of thing.
What I like about book groups is that you end up reading books you might not have necessarily picked up.
Yeah.
And then I find that I'll read a book that I might not have picked up on my own, and then I really like it.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah.
I like cozy mysteries too,
Yeah,
just the
okay,
opposite
yeah,
of thrillers.
yeah.
But what do you call it? Historical fiction? No.
Okay.
No, nothing like that. But I'll go from a cozy mystery to a real thriller, but I've become, as the years go by, a little less with the violent thriller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At 2 in the morning, I'm not so crazy over that.
No.
I will read
I don't
young-
care for that at 2 in the morning either.
Do you read young adult? Well,
On occasion.
I will.
Yeah, on occasion I do.
I think they're kind of cool.
Yeah, there's some really good ones.
I'll even go to the kids section, like real young adult,
Okay.
and I'll see something that looks cute. I've got a couple grandkids, and I'll think, you know what, that's kind of neat. We have been talking with Kim Ivers, and she is the assistant library director over at Southborough Public Library, as well as the children's services person. And she brought us, show us one more time. The Southborough Public Library has a game of the town that was made in 1980. And you can see it on exhibit. Go up to the second floor. Go on up there, take a look at it. It's just like a Monopoly game. And if your town would like to have one of, it's historical, of your town. What was the name of the company again?
It was Michael Glynn Productions.
What is it?
Michael Glynn Productions.
Michael's Glynn, Glynn Productions. Go online. See if they're still around. I'm sure there are other companies might be there too. See if you can get one done for your town too. What a heck of a way for the young kids to learn about the history of their town, and for older people who maybe grew up in the town to really enjoy seeing, oh, that one was there, it's not there now. It's a Monopoly game. And do you remember what that cost the town to buy?
You know, I don't.
I think the Historical Society should have something on that.
They might. I don't know. As I said, yeah, it was a Southborough organization for schools.
I would think that would have been a big hit. It's got to be somewhere. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
I look forward to this so much because when I saw it advertised on the Community Advocate, I thought, oh, we got to get this girl on the show. We really do. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.